reports Green Bay is interested in trading for Darren Waller. Well, Green Bay would be interested in trading for Darren Waller.
The whole league.
The question, who wouldn't want Darren Waller? The question is, why would the Raiders give up Darren Waller?
He's not a big cap hit. He's a $7 million cap hit. You can't let go of superstars that are small cap hits.
Well, Waller was reportedly included in the Devontae Adams trade, but had to be removed due to an NFL rule about trading a franchise tag player who has yet to sign their deal. So it's not that it's impossible, but you'd want to hang on to Darren Waller. Derek Carr shot this rumor down on Twitter, the newly sold Twitter, which is now a space for free speech, for those of you guys who don't understand what that means. Tweeting with his free speech Twitter, LOL, no chance. Now, he missed 6 games, Waller did last year, due to knee and back injuries and COVID. Those are the only games he's missed in his Raiders career, excluding the first week after being signed from the Ravens.
He is a dominant top 2 player at his position in the league. Top 2 or 3.
I think their offense changes if they don't have Darren Waller.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Waller's great. Hunter Renfro's maybe the best slot guy in the league. Devontae's great. Derek Carr, I've always liked him way more. They have the left tackle and Colton Miller. Their issue in the draft is center to the right tackle. They got to get better, and they got to make some changes defensively. But the
Raiders are wildly interesting to me next year.
And I watched a lot of Raider games last year. I probably watched 12 of them. They were in crazy games. They were in
and now
wild
they have
games.
Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
They're going to have a stable year, we're assuming. They're really interesting to me. So, the Nets roller coaster of a season ended last night in tragedy owned by the Celtics.
Can you imagine being a Celtic fan and hearing you were going to lose that series, and then you probably Boston feels pretty good about itself today.
They should, but also not in any way to defend Kyrie or KD, because you can't get swept in the first round. But they were a 7 seed. Kyrie did choose not to play home games this season. They didn't have a lot of depth in defense. It's not. You're now seeing why having a complete team matters. It's still a team game when everything is said and done.
Yeah.
It's about the stars, and stars are crucially important, and we tend to pick stars in these series, but you still have to have a complete team. Well, in a post-game statement, Kyrie told everyone of his intention to exercise his player option and remain with Brooklyn next season, and he plans to keep calling shots with the Nets.
Oh, good. Great.
I don't really plan on going anywhere, so, this is, like I said, this is added motivation for our franchise to be at the top of the league for the next few years, and, I'm just looking forward to the summer and just building with our guys here. When I say I'm here with Kev, I think that it really entails us, managing this franchise together alongside Joe and Sean and just our group of family members that we have in our locker room, in our organization.
That's guy on the internet that wants to tell you all about the world, global affairs,
it's
economies.
the guy on the internet that wants to tell me that that freedom of speech is being able to say whatever you want with no consequences, instead of it being
what it is,
freedom from government persecution.
Yeah, it's guy on the internet's got all the answers.
I got all the answers guy. When you don't, and the evidence of that is you got swept in the first round of the playoffs. So look, I'm disappointed that the Nets didn't go further. I wanted to see the Nets. I'm disappointed in this entire Nets experiment from the beginning. I wanted to see KD, Kyrie, and Harden play together.
They were the Joker. They were Darth Vader. The NBA has a bunch of nice guys. They had no villain. This was the villain.
They were absolutely the villain, and you saw that in the reaction to them getting swept.
Everybody loved it
Yesterday.
Yeah.
But what do you do moving forward? Because I don't think what anyone wants. I don't know how much everyone really, you got conspiracy tinfoil hat guy, which is lovely. And like, that's, they're pushing for Kyrie, and that's great. And Kyrie is still an incredible player, but not a winning player. That's obvious. Like, at the end of the day, what are the results? We can talk all about and fantasize and put together all this fantasy basketball stuff. What is the actual results? It's the same thing with Ben Simmons. Not a winning player. No evidence of it. Evidence. I need facts. Science. What is it? Yeah. Not this fantasy you've created in your mind. I want to see what happens in real life. We have seen no success in this situation. Winning a couple playoff series is not success for the expectations you should have for the talent level on this team.
Yeah.
So what do you do moving forward? Getting a new coach is not going to solve the situation, even though I think Steve Nash was entirely over his head and
I thought
clearly inexperienced, not qualified, and it showed.
Yeah.
Just whatever he did as a player is irrelevant. Coaching is a completely different situation.
Yeah.
It's a different job. And there's a lot of failures and a lot of blame pie to go around. At the end of the day, I'm all for pushing the envelope, trying different things, experimenting. Let's bring in this person, do different things. But if it fails, you can't keep doing that.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why everyone has jobs. Delegating is very important. When you look at successful organizations, when you look at successful companies, they delegate. Everybody can't have a whole assignment to them. And then when they continue to fail at it, you keep giving them that chunk of responsibility. It's what happened with the Lakers.
Yeah.
Kawhi, LeBron, KD, Kyrie. Not in the playoffs.
Yeah. It's a pretty good indication. I've said this before. I'm not shut up and dribble guy. I want my athletes to have big, broad lives.
Of course not.
But I don't want my coaches drafting players. Pete Carroll, Belichick. They have too much power. They've had bad drafts for like 7. New England finally, Belichick acknowledged, I make too many mistakes in drafting. Gave it to the scouts, and last year they had 3 hits. Mac Jones, the Alabama kid, and the running back from Oklahoma. They had 3 hits. It was like Belichick. It's very hard. Randy Moss tried to play basketball. Roy Jones tried to play hoops. Michael Jordan tried to play baseball. It's virtually impossible to be great at 2 things, like truly, absolutely great. You cannot be a great coach and the best GM in the league. You cannot in the NFL, and you cannot be a great player and also an expert on all personnel. Do you go home at night and watch tapes of a Dusseldorf shooting guard?
Are you putting together the scout? No, you're not. You're not doing that. I do think that if they're going to have any success, there needs to be a major adjustment, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd.
I can't ever imagine, wanting to move on from Debo. You put yourself through the exercises of, even though we don't have a first-round pick, you have to be thorough in this process and prepare for everything. And so you go through and do that. He's just too good of a player. So we've got nothing but love for him and nothing but appreciation for what he's bought. But you just don't let guys like that walk.
Well, I mean, they have the leverage right now. They don't have to trade Debo.
No, and you do have to think about your division. The Rams now play with the confidence of a champion, and to get where you want to be, which is home playoff games, you got to get through the Rams. My concern, I think if I was San Francisco, I would rather keep him. I was talking to Bill Polian about this. He said, I would keep Debo, and then I would just draft heavy defense because I need to make my defense cheaper. He goes, the bottom line is if you draft well, this is what the Rams do. When you draft well, you can pay Bobby Wagner, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Allen Robinson. But you have to draft well.
But also, are they going to pay? Here's the issue again with Debo. Debo, we've now seen what he can do rushing, right? He doesn't want to be in that position, but he wants to be paid like he's playing both positions. So I'm for everybody making all the money they want to make.
Yeah.
But if I'm a team and I'm going to pay you what you're asking for, then I want you to do both positions.
Well, the other thing is they're not great at quarterback, so they need Debo more. I mean, if they had Aaron Rodgers, it's a whole different ballgame. But they don't. Brandon Ayuk has not been as good as they thought. He's fine, but he's inconsistent. So it's tough. I would shop around and I would take calls, but boy, it'd be a bad night. If I traded him, that is a bad drive home.
Well, the Packers are continuing to look for a top target to replace Devontae